85mm f1.8 Pro Mark II, this time for the Fujifilm X mount. There is a Sony version on this channel. It's the same lens, but a very different experience. And again, this could be an absolute winner at the price. So we're testing the autofocus right now. I can do up to 85 centimeters. Let's jump out and see if there's any focus. Breathe in, jump back in at what possibly is, I think it got me, is the right spot. And yeah, how is that? We're going to look at this thing up close next, as always, and get out and have some fun with it. So this being on a crop body is a different beast. I think I'm going to enjoy that extra reach. Yeah. And after some good use, I'll put my thoughts together and then it'll be over to you more importantly. So yeah, that's that done. Let's crack on. Yes, QC, let us know if you've had problems with the quality control. I obviously only see one example of this lens, so I can't comment on that. I haven't had any problems though, using these for quite a while. Of course, if you're gonna watch or have watched the Sony version, it's exactly the same lens but with a Fujifilm mount. But most of you are here for the Fujifilm goodness, so USB-C for firmware, little gasket probably just to protect that. Doesn't offer weather protection as such. AF/MF switch, pretty nice clicky aperturing, we love to see that. Snap cap there, nice grey markings on the front. We've got an 85mm minimum focusing, 62mm filter thread. You get this nice hood. Everything is plastic, of course, but it feels decent and I've not had a problem with that. So 0.11 times magnification ratio if I'm right. Angle of view 18.6 degrees. Now on our Fujifilm bodies, which we have one here, it's going to give us a full frame equivalent of 127.5, which is rather appealing. So a very different experience to that of the Sony full frame model. And I think other than the size, that is absolutely fine. This being the T3, of course, very similar size to my T4 and your T5s, etc. I think that is absolutely fine. Inside, we've got 9 diaphragm blades, 11 elements, 8 groups, a lot of glass to work with. Weighs around 380, 389 grams. And that is literally it. We need to get out and have fun. I think I'm going to enjoy this. And yes, some of the comments on build and handling will be similar to the Sony video. The image quality though, let's see how this performs with the X-T4 sensor in this case. I'm quite excited about that, and obviously the extra compression factor with the crop. Yeah, you know what I mean. Let's get on with it. Well, after over 1,100 random test shots, not so random, definitely not pretty, how do we feel about this lens then? Well, firstly, yes, Technically, it's a full frame lens, and while it feels perfectly fine on our Fujifilm gear, I'd love to see it be a bit more compact. Otherwise, build quality is pretty good. It should last some time. It handles well, give or take the aperture ring being a tiny bit loose if I'm being extra critical. The autofocus, tracking and so on is okay for slower moving subjects. It worked much better in video shooting though. Sharpness is close to excellent, wide open in the center, and reaches its best across the frame by around f5.6. Color rendering, very good, and contrast performance is also very good. Now, both spherical and chromatic aberrations are both minimal, and vignetting basically unnoticeable, wide open. Importantly, and this is purely personal, bokeh is quite good. Again, for my taste, it's a bit oniony in places, so if you're allergic to that kind of thing, be aware. I like the textured areas, they're nice and smooth for the most part, but what do you reckon? What's your take on it? Should you spend £329 or even £280 as it was when I bought it? Well, yeah, don't expect perfection, but if your budget is limited, you should be happy with this one. It fits nice, shoots nice images, it's just nice, and it doesn't break the bank. What's not to love or like? Well, I definitely enjoyed the lens more on my Sony camera, which I know is a terrible thing to say, to admit as a Fujifilm shooter, but this is a full frame lens after all, and Sony are way ahead with autofocus, of course. Having said that, I'll say this is the best 85mm I've tried in a while for our beloved Fujifilm, and at this price, it's worth it.